Hello everybody, I am Keith Gregson and I am old, you can see that. Old enough to have seen the Beatles, which is a good thing. Old enough to have been involved in music for over 50, maybe over 60 years, and I've written songs for about 50 odd years. So first of all, I'd like to thank The Bunker for inviting me to do this concert here today. It's come at an appropriate time because I've spent most of the pandemic putting my songs down, for posterity, into a couple of albums. And one of them, the first one, it's accompanied all the way through and with tunes as well, is called The Man Who Could Not Sing. It's not about me, it's about a guy called Caedmon who was he was a cowboy at Whitby Abbey in the Saxon times. And the only person to write about him was a local lad from here called Bede, who was actually Saint Bede, who was born on what was called the Sundered Land, which is not far from here. And according to Bede, Caedmon was the very first person to write a song in the English language. And the whole story of Caedmon is told in this little song called The Man Who Could Not Sing. He sat alone by the fireside, his face and his feelings he would hide, dry with fear, for he knew that soon they'd asked him to stand and to give a tune. Then everyone would laugh with a ha-ha-ha, everyone would laugh at his tra-la-la, no one in the hall ever cared at all for the man who could not sing. Come on, Caedmon, give us a song. Please make sure it don't last long. You can sing of love, you can sing of war. Don't be afraid when they laugh for more. Everybody laughed with a ha-ha-ha. Everybody laughed at his tra-la-la. No one in the hall ever cared at all for the man who could not sing. Then he went to his stable room, away from the maddening throng. Got down on his knees and prayed. He said, Lord, what did I do wrong? And when he was asleep that night, well, he dreamt he saw a light. It was an angel dressed in a robe of gold, saying, sing for me tonight. And everybody laughed with a ha-ha-ha. Everybody laughed at his tra-la-la. No one in the hall ever cared at all for the man who could not sing. Alone again by the fireside. Come on, Caedmon, the cynics cried. Stand on your chair and do your thing. You know we want to hear you sing. He stood, he sang. I sing of the Lord who gave me birth, sing of the Lord who made this earth, sing of the Lord of heaven above, sing of the Lord of truth and love. And nobody laughed with a ha-ha-ha, nobody laughed at his tra-la-la. And the cattle boy who had no voice made 100 people rejoice, thousands more in years to come, as he sang to them in the native tongue of the man who could not sing. I sing of the Lord who gave me birth, sing of the Lord who made this earth, sing of the Lord of heaven above, sing of the Lord of a truth and love. Sang the man who could not sing. Caedmon's song, or The Man Who Could Not Sing. Thank you. Don't clap, throw money. Right. I have an audience here. Coming from the folk world, some of the songs that we sing are sung without any accompaniment at all. It's a tradition. And also, in my view, it's a way that you can actually concentrate on the words and not have to bother about thinking about doing the accompaniment. So if a song has words which really matter to you, then it's a good job if you can hold a tune to do songs unaccompanied. And the second of the two albums I did started life as being called Totally Unaccompanied, but when I put it into spell check, it came out as Totally Unaccomplished. So that's remained as the title of the album, Totally Unaccomplished. And this is a totally unaccomplished song, and it's called Oxfordshire Morning. And it's a song that means a lot to me because it was written on the Oxford Canal when I was there with 3 other friends. And it was one of those wonderful misty mornings and we had to get back to the canal basin that day. So I offered to drive. And quite rightly, they turned me down because A, they wanted to get back that day, and B, they wanted to get back safely. So I said, what do I do? I said, well, go and sit in the prow and write a song or something. And so that's exactly what I did. I went down, sat on the prow of the canal boat, and I just took my notebook out and I noted all the things that I saw. And the result of it is this song called Oxfordshire Morning. With a bit of sadness because 2 of the 4 of us are no longer with us. So for friends, for Jeannie and JP, this song, Oxfordshire Morning. Oxfordshire morning, willows are weeping, kingfishers fishing, moorhens at play, and here I am a-working in a crowded old city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Deep down in the bushes a heron is hiding, flaps up its wings in a soaring display. The wings of a plane overshadow the city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Oxfordshire morning, willows are weeping, kingfishers fishing, moorhens at play, and here I am a-working in a crowded old city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Down at the lock gate, lockkeepers sleeping, take your own boat down, self-service displayed. In the self-serving city, it's up times and rushing, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Oxfordshire morning, willows are weeping, kingfishers fishing, moorhens at play, and here I am a-working in a crowded old city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. The lassie is sassy, the lady is lively, so the boats tell us in mooring and bay. Parked cars in the city stand nameless and lifeless, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Oxfordshire morning, willows are weeping, kingfishers fishing, and moorhens at play, and here I am a-working in a crowded old city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Alone on the prow on a fine autumn morning, Lord of the river and all I survey. On the computer the internet crashes, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. Oxfordshire morning, willows are weeping, kingfishers fishing, moorhens at play, and here I am a-working in a crowded old city, and Oxfordshire morning seems so far away. For Jeannie and JP, that one. Thank you. Back to the guitar. Right. This is a song from the album which has guitar support to it and some guitar tunes as well. And it's a song called Wish I Could Paint a Picture. And it's got a lovely simple story behind this. About 25 years ago, the art teacher at the school at which I taught, Kenny Dunn, had an exhibition of paintings, wonderful paintings. You may have seen some of them actually, because they were up in Hartlepool railway station a bit later. And I said to Kenny, "Oh, Kenny, I wish I could paint a picture." Kenny said, "I wish I could write songs." So I thought, right, I'll write a song for Kenny. So I wrote this one, which is called Wish I Could Paint a Picture, for him. And so he could use it in the classroom, because every line of this song contains a veiled reference either to a painting or an artist. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. Paint it on the ceiling, paint it on the wall, paint it on a cardboard box, on anything at all. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. There's the hay cart in the river, there's Jesus in the sky. There's an old boat in the sunset and it's heading home to die. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. I'd paint it like a madman, paint it like a monk, paint it like a man inspired. I'd paint it like a drunk. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. Jesus in the sky, yes, there's Jesus in the sky. There's an old boat in the river and it's heading home to die. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I write a song. I'd paint it in Tahiti on the battlefields of Spain, cornfields in summer, cathedrals in the rain and mist. Wish I could paint a picture, wish it all lifelong. Wish I could paint a picture just like I wrote this song. Wish I could paint a picture. I was very fortunate to be able to write some songs in the 1970s and 1980s with an ex-miner from Dordon called Jim Morland. And in fact, Jim wrote most of the words, and increasingly so. And of them all, my favourite is one called The Ballad of the Banners. And it's about the pit banners, which were for years kept at Red Hills in Durham as the pits gradually closed. And Jim had actually carried the banner at the big meeting in Durham one year, and he was very proud of the fact because it was a great honour to be chosen to do that. And it was after he'd left the pit and started teaching with me one day that he thought, what's going to happen to all these banners now that the pits are closing down? And he wrote this one. Now, every word is by Jim, and I just supplied the tune. So I can say that the words of these to me are particularly powerful. It's called The Ballad of the Banners. Oh, the wheels have stopped their turning, and the salvage men have gone. But no matter what the reason is, the days of toil are done. Like the clanking of the rapper and the whistle's shrilling blast, the sounds so familiar are now memories of the past, and the places where men gathered when the days of toil are through, 'neath the demolition hammer have all disappeared from view. Ah, but men shall not forget you while we proudly bear your name, a memorial to your history in the Red Hills Hall of Fame. There were days of joy and gladness when the band played loud and bold, and men were very glad as they thought of days of old. The weaving wave of young folk who led us on the way, the future of our township, now what's to make them stay? There are also days of sadness as the greater price was paid, and the drumbeat sounded hollow as men bowed their heads and prayed. Ah, but men shall not forget you while we proudly bear your name, a memorial to your history in the Red Hills Hall of Fame. We have made our contribution, and now the die is cast, and here we are in dust sheets like some memories of the past. A kaleidoscope of colour, once the symbol of our prime, has faded to a shadow and diminishes with time. How long before they join us, the few that still remain? And will the town of Durham see their glory once again? Ah, but men shall not forget you while we proudly bear your name, a memorial to your history in the Red Hills Hall of Fame. Yes, their wheels have stopped their turning and the salvage men have gone, yet no matter what the reason is, the days of toil have done. Like the clanking of the rapper and the whistle's chilling blast, those sounds so familiar are now memories of the past, and the places where men gathered when the day of toil was through, 'neath the demolition hammer, have all disappeared from you. Ah, but men shall not forget you as we proudly bear your name, a memorial to your history in the Red Hills Hall of Fame. The Ballad of the Banners. Back to the old guitar. I was going to say before that The Man Who Could Not Sing was probably written, I think, somewhere about 1973, and this one was written probably about the same time or soon afterwards. And I'm quite aware now of what the influences were on my writing there. There were three sort of, apart from the Beatles, of course, and then McCartney and George Harrison, and the people I admire most, there was a band called the Straubs, who wrote sort of folk rock, Fairport Convention. And in fact, the very early Ray Davies of the Kinks, wrote quite a few sort of folk rocky kind of numbers, and they influenced me. This one here is called is Robespierre's song, or The Incorruptible, that was his nickname. Robespierre was a French revolutionary leader, but he's of a type, and I think recently we've seen types like him involved in politics. I'll say no more than that. So this is a mixture of research I did into the French Revolution and a little bit of Animal Farm as well in it as well. Okay, The Incorruptible. Hear the crowds roaring as he enters the street. He makes his way into the square. He's the man of the people they all want to meet, but he goes with his head in the air. He doesn't see the tumbrel as it passes him by. His thoughts are as high as the birds in the sky, but this man too must learn how to die. For Friday's king is Saturday's fool. His riches are small, his pleasures they are few. His room, it is dingy and bare. His only ambition is the perfect state where people are selfless and care. Another dozen carts rattle past with their load, and many dozen more will pass this road, if only they'd learn to respect his code. But Friday's king is Saturday's fool. There's a hush in the crowd as the man starts to speak of freedom, revolution and gain. How virtue must live and corruption must die, and all must be geared to the same. The roar goes rose up at the end of the square. Her disembodied head is held up in the air, but she was corrupt, so the sentence is fair. And Friday's queen is Saturday's fool. His standards are high, but his methods insane. Over all hangs the fear of the knife. He murdered a king that he had to replace, to teach them how to lead a kingless life. Oh, and now he sees the tumble as it takes him away. He hadn't said all that he wanted to say, but he had to be king if for only a day. And Friday's king is Saturday's, Friday's king is Saturday's, Friday's king rarely lives to see Saturday. Friday's king. Right, back to an unaccomplished song. For many years I was lucky enough to lead what they called a folk camp in a little village in Normandy called Saint-Denis-le-Gard, where about 100 of English people, British people would gather on a football pitch, and we'd enjoy folk activities for a couple of weeks. And we'd always join in with the local villagers. And of course, Normandy suffered greatly in the Second World War. And as I was a history teacher at the time, I was very keen to learn about it from the villagers, who were very kind and very helpful. But the thing that really struck me was that we used to have a meeting in the hall to the end of the holiday, and they always stood up and sung this wonderful song called Ma Normandie, which was the anthem of Normandy, which was actually banned during the war. And one particular year, there was a young, fine, upstanding young man who absolutely belted it out with tears in his eyes. And it made me think of all that went on in Normandy. I was fortunate, and I expect many of you are, to have met men, English and British men, who were on the beaches on that particular day, on D-Day. So this is a song to the tune of Ma Normandie, which was written in the early 19th century, actually. And it's not called My Normandy, it's called Their Normandy. And it goes like this. Utah, Juno, Golden Sword, those names are heard both near and far. And one that cannot be ignored, the bloodied beach at Omaha. A line was drawn there in the sand, needs was must, a captive land, a land just waiting to be free, the land they call Ma Normandie. They came by air, they came by sea, and soon that land once more was free. Forevermore their song shall be, the song they call Ma Normandie. Heading southward from the sea, Saint-Mère-Église to Saint-Denis, a fearsome foe that would not yield, a single hedgerow, single field, bodies stretched out in a row, Rancé, Bayeux, and Saint-Lô, now sleeping for eternity beneath those fields of Normandy. They came by air, they came by sea, and soon that land once more was free. Forevermore their song shall be, the song they call Ma Normandie. The people of that battered land repaired their houses, cleaned their sand. Now when they gather young and old, they sing their anthem loud and bold, an anthem for their fellows and for those who sleep beneath their land. A song sung only by the free, a song they call Ma Normandie. J'ai vu les lacs de Helvétie et Venise et ses gondolées. En saluant chaque patrie, je me disais, nos séjours, ce n'est beau que ma Normandie, c'est le pays qui m'a donné le jour. They came by air, they came by sea, and soon that land once more was free. Forevermore their song shall be, the song they call Ma Normandie. Their Normandy. Right, I think I'll do a couple more to end off. This one here, now, for my sins, this is the song from which I'm going to be remembered. It is now sung by other people all around the country, people involved in folk music, song and dance. It started off as a bit of fun, basically. I don't know about you, but I was not too happy with the oilseed rape when it first came out. You know, you used to drive along the A19 and it was like the sun was just bursting up at you in the mornings. And then later on, when it started to rot, the smell was absolutely awful. And this must have been at the back of my mind for some time. And one day, we did a distance run at school, and I was putting some photographs together with a young lad. And I said, how are we going to put all these fields together? How they sort of, pictures of the run. He said, oh, well, why don't you put the margarine fields together? I said, what? He said, the yellow stuff, it's for the margarine fields. So I said, ha-ha, the foreign fields of yellow margarine. Well, that's it for a songwriter. Once you've got a line like that, off you go. So I'm going to sing for you a song which is known to everybody who sings it as Yellow Margarine. And it is a bit of a laugh. Were the old days something grand, when your eyes could stretch across our green and pleasant land, and the only sign of yellow was high up in the sky, that now the English countryside just makes you want to cry. For where are the fields of waving corn? Fields I remember from the day that I was born. Corn that was golden and corn that was green, forsaken for the foreign fields of yellow margarine. Now yellow is the colour of my true love's hair. Don't tell the wife. Yellow is a daffodil, a duck, a teddy bear. Yellow is a Rolls Royce, perhaps a submarine. But every child that colours knows that fields are green. So where are the fields of waving corn? Fields I remember from the day that I was born. Corn that was golden and corn that was green, forsaken for the foreign fields of yellow margarine. So next time you buy margarine from the shops, get some glasses to protect you from the glare of the crops, and a mask to protect you from the smell so obscene that comes from the rotting fields of yellow margarine. So where are those fields of waving corn? Fields I remember from the day that I was born. Corn that was golden and corn that was green, forsaken for the foreign fields of yellow margarine. One more time for England. Oh, where are the fields of waving corn? Fields I remember from the day that I was born. Corn that was golden and corn that was green, forsaken for the foreign fields of yellow margarine. That's your lot. Oh dear, fancy being remembered for that after the hard work and all the other songs. I'm actually going to end up with a tune If you manage to access the albums, they're on YouTube under my name, Keith Gregson, and that's The Man Who Could Not Sing and Totally Unaccomplished. There are a few guitar solo tunes on them. In my youth, I was a great fan of people like Bert Jansch and people like that. But I'm going to end up with a tune which I wrote sitting outside a villa in Catalonia, in a place called Catelios. No, it wasn't. It was Fiscardo, yes. Fiscardo up in the north on a beautiful day. And I've been learning to play a few tunes from about 200 or 300 years ago. One's called Tamboran, which has been recorded by James Galway. You want to hear that? It's a beautiful one. And the other one is an old tune called La Basque. Jolly tunes, and I'd played them. And suddenly I had an idea for a tune of my own in the style of this. And so I've just called it Fiscardo. So I'd like to end the concert there with this little tune and to thank everybody at the bunker for recording me. There's only a couple of mistakes in there, which ain't bad for a continuous concert, is it? Here we are, Fiscardo. And before I go, can I thank George, my friend, for making me this whistle. He used to design tanks. He now designs whistle. This one, yes, is made out of a toilet pipe. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the concert, and thanks once again to the bunker, and see you all again sometime. Cheers.